Good morning or evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Back here for episode number 5. We're going to do some light landscaping here and then fix our little sprinkler here. We got our little PVC cutters and stuff, and then some PVC cement. There we go. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so if you recall, we got this little sprinkler line here. So that head was about right in here, and it went from like there all the way over here. So it kind of fed this whole area. This is a 2-zone system, so there's one zone over there and then another zone here. So we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, in this general area. But anyway, going to go ahead and repair this and get this set. And then I also got some 4-inch pipe for our drain with this little like collar for the downspout. So right in about here, obviously I'm gonna need another like 4 foot or so pipe to connect it in there and then run it down. But the main thing here for this at least is just making sure that we've got the right slope. This is these are 2 20-foot pipes here, so I'll probably get another 4 feet or so to get 5 feet maybe. So about an inch-ish for every 10 feet. So really between here and there I need like what, 2 or 3 inches. So we're gonna dig out this little corner here to put that pipe, this one in, and have it turned back this way, and then this 4-inch adapter. And the reason I'm using this PVC versus the corrugated or perforated is that I want to make sure this whole new roof here is draining properly, but also that this pipe can handle it. And with this waterproofing on here now, yeah, we just want to make sure that we've got the right slope and that we've got the right volume, because I think like 3-inch would be way too small based on what I see out of these other downspouts. So anyway, let's do sprinkler repair first, and then we'll start filling this hole in. Put it here, 3/4 inch, perfect. All right, this side. This is really hard to do with one hand. I need to get a videographer over here to help me. Sprinkler trying to give me some issues here, but we got to figure it out. Anyway, we got the rest of the pipe in here. I couldn't do this all one-handed, obviously. But anyway, we got our downspout here. Nice and secure. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different junctions. And so you can see now, come down off the edge there and right into our little drain here. So anyway, plenty of a slope. You know, the top of this block is like 17 inches and it falls all the way down to the bottom here on the driveway. So, you know, 16-ish or so inches of fall, more than enough, obviously, for 21, 22 feet, whatever we got here. Let's see, 10, 20, yeah, 23 feet or so. So we put some bricks underneath these just to kind of hold them in place. We stood one up over here and then put another one underneath it there. You can can you see that? And I did spill this, but the canister was giving me some issues. Anyway, that part is done. So now we're gonna fill this part in. The sprinkler is just about where it's gonna go here. Obviously, once we turn it on and get some final estimates of what this is gonna spray and what we're gonna do here, I think we're gonna have to end this bed right about here, actually. So we'll probably kind of create this little curve here and then bring it back in, or like kind of soften it up this way. But pine straw, a couple more. My hydrangeas are not doing so well here, but this is like the perfect spot for them to get some afternoon sun over there. So get a couple more of those suckers in here, burn that stuff. Still gotta cut the grass, but anyway, we're making some progress here. I'm gonna backfill this in so that at least when these guys come to frame, they've got like a solid surface around here. And my real goal was to get all this backfilled, obviously, so that we we had this in place, and then I'll get one more load probably, fill and then topsoil and fill this part in here. And we're not doing a pipe or anything here, and then get that sprinkler set. So that's what we'll do today. It's kind of hot. I think it's like 98 degrees here. Okay, you can see our tarp of dirt is gone. Well, the dirt is gone at least. So backfilled up to the corner here. Got the pipe all in. Not perfect, obviously, but just wanted to move that dirt so I could cut the grass here. But anyway, so I think the next step for this part at least is going to be to get a dingo mini bobcat mini skid steer thing and drag this dirt back. So I'm trying to give you some sense of level here, but you can see that wall is like right on grade. So I need to pull all this soil back so that we have at least an inch or two of foundation visible. But fortunately we've got a big backyard here, so there's plenty of places to put it. But I think we're gonna have to drag it this way and then this way. So kind of like on a 45-degree angle this way and then straight back. Excuse me, from the foundation. Because this is just too high. So we had a tree here, right in here. It was about that size actually. And the roots and everything are obviously decaying and visible. So this shouldn't be too much of an issue, but this soil got pushed up just like that got pushed up. So once I got the rest of the fill in, I can then drag it back here as well and then plant some grass seed. And look how good this is doing, by the way. You can kind of see the two tracks there more or less of where the bobcat went to fill in the trampoline area back there with all this dirt. But anyway, so that is, let's see, the beginning of episode 5 here. We'll try to probably get the rest of this done in the next week or so with the little mini skid steer, have some soil delivered, and then kind of Harley rake this all out, get some rocks and stuff out of here as well, and then some of the remaining wood. But anyway, that will be a little bit later here in this episode, but good progress today. And our pipe is in. A little bit of topsoil. Close enough. Welcome back. We got some topsoil delivered. 3 yards, I think, give or take. That's on top of the wall, yeah. But we're gonna clean that out and get it all spread around. I have a machine coming Friday, I think. So we will backfill that wall there, and then we'll spread this dirt out, and then we'll pull that dirt away from that wall. And actually, this is a really good point of view here, perspective, position, whatever. This is exactly why we want to have a extra large gate here, not just for bobcats and larger equipment and stuff to get back there, but also a dump truck. Because if I could pull a dump truck back there and dump a bunch of topsoil, now I can level off the low spots, but I can also in the fall. I don't know if you know this. I used to be in lawn care and landscaping. Topsoil like this, when you for fescue, this is what's back there, fescue. Tall fescue. In the fall, you scalp it, you get it really, really low. A, so you can see the imperfections, but then B, so you can get some new growth after you aerate and everything else. Well, if you add this black topsoil here, which is really finely screened, I think it's mixed with some manure as well. I could be wrong on that, but don't quote me. But anyway, if I back a dump truck in there and dump a big, large load of topsoil, then I can spread it around the backyard a lot easier, and then thicker, greener grass and stuff. So anyway, just one of the many reasons that I'm sure you follow along. Right? So anyway, when I get back, I got a lunch and then a podcast thing we got to go do. But anyway, we're going to spread this out a little bit. We're going to spread that out a little bit, mostly just to backfill this wall and compact it every 6 to 8 inches. And then when the machine gets here on Friday, I'll show you the rest of that. That'll be the rest of this episode, basically. And then we'll take some of that soil and spread it out to where there's still some low spots and stuff. But and then the machine will pull back all this dirt here so that we can get the new wall on top of the old wall, on top of a new wall on top of the other new wall. I definitely picked the wrong day for this. I just got out of the car, it's at 100 degrees, and we're gonna move some dirt. Ugh. One thing I do not mess around with though is heat exhaustion, that's for sure. Cause it is hot. Plenty of fluids, plenty of fluids. Let me flip you around though and give you a better idea from the side here real quick. What's going on? If I can even see what I'm doing. Okay, set this down. Okay, so obviously my camera's like kind of angled down a little bit, so let me get you a little more level here so you can see just what's going on. There we go. So now you can really see you know what we got going on here. So you know that little brick wall over there is the top, you know, was the top of grade for this, where this all met each other. So trying to get it to run back this way and then down this way as well. So probably based on what we got here, because we do have a little bit of pooling in this area, like along, you can kind of see where the grass is like not filled in quite as much. That's because there's just too much water. That's because I left a big pile of sticks to burn. So that's dead grass there. But anywhere the water's pooling, you can kind of see, you know, that's where it's kind of killing off the grass. Too much water is a bad thing. And fescue really only need like an inch. Some people argue an inch and a half, depending on how long it is. You know, when I owned my lawn care and landscaping company, and we had clients with fescue lawns, I would recommend an inch and a half just because it would stay greener, darker, longer. And you can see we've got a lot of issues here, a lot of weeds and stuff. This is like the worst it's ever been. And I think I aerated. I'm pretty sure I aerated. But anyway, one wormhole to the next. This is the problem. When I sit down here, I start looking around and I'm like, ooh, that needs to be done, that needs to be done, that needs to be done. We need to redo that. We need to try that again. Anyway, so a little more soil to pour over there and kind of along this little retaining wall we got here. And again, in an ideal world, we'd have it coming off like a 45 degree from the house here, not a 90 and a 90 like that. But this is super important, even if you do have this, you know, foundation waterproofed completely. There will just be instances where water peeks through, and I will add some water to this tonight just to get it to settle in a little bit more, so I can kind of get a better idea of how much, you know, how much air, gas, you know, space we've got in between this soil that we've just laid, because there will be some. My 220 is not enough to compact it. But, you know, again, this is a garage. I'm not super concerned about it. Obviously, as long as we get some negative grade here, we're good. But probably gonna have to spread all this like right in this general area just to kind of, again, build it up a little bit, and we want it to run more that way. And when I say run, I mean even a half inch between, say, here and there is enough. Like an inch for like every 20 feet in landscaping's plenty, because you got all this vegetation slowing it down. It's not like, you know, like that pipe where we dropped it like, you know, 16 inches over 20 feet or whatever. Obviously that's not necessary, but like a French drain or something, an inch per 10 feet is plenty. But here where you've got, you know, landscape vegetation holding it back, slowing it down, you're good with like pretty minimal. So like half an inch over 15, 20 feet is plenty. Anyway, let's stop talking. Let's get back into the heat exhaustion. I mean, spreading. It's so freaking hot. Like 20 minutes. Hot. Picked the wrong day for this. All right, so as you see, spread out some of the topsoil here. The reason I'm doing that here, if I can get you straight, is when we go to pull this soil back, it's gonna mix in with all this grass. Obviously we'll have to lay some new seed and new pine straw and stuff just to make sure it, you know, holds on. But you can see, let me flip you around to show you the real problem here. Okay, so according to the bubble on my level on my tripod here, this says we're level, but you can see the problem. Obviously we got dirt coming back at us, and then we got it kind of going back this way a little bit, down like towards the foundation. Let's back you out a little. There we go, much better. So the idea here is to pull all of this, like this, you know, 10 foot, 15, whatever foot, 12 foot area here, down that way, so that we can get some of this negative slope coming away from the house and then negative slope coming back this way. This is just too much. We don't want water, you know, rushing back at us here. So that's why we're gonna have to get the machine here. And I think you can still see the 2 tracks from the Bobcats and stuff there. I gotta fill that in, but that will be the primary place we'll kind of pull that soil back. And because this topsoil's on top, it's gonna mix in with the native soil that's already here and give us a nice, new planting source. Because this rocky kind of fill, native dirt that's here is really, really hard red clay. So we gotta complement it with some topsoil here. So that's why we're spreading that out. But about half of that pile or so moved here. Let's see. Yeah, give or take. So one of the things you can kind of see in that area, it's not just an optical illusion here. That is actually lower. So we gotta take a lot more of that and kind of fill that void in there. And again, negative grade, negative flow, if you will, away from the house, negative slope. There it is. That's the word. So we want it doing that. We don't want it doing this because otherwise it'll press up against this waterproofing and then find any little hole that this concrete has in it, which concrete is porous if you didn't know that. So it will let water through. But anyway, got the whip all cleaned up too, looking good. But anyway, we're gonna finish spreading this dirt and then we got a swim meet to get to. So let's get this thing done. About every 15 minutes, you just gotta get out of the heat. It's crazy, it's crazy. Anyway, we got most of it spread. I'll probably save a little bit here at the end for the work with the mini skid steer, just to kind of show you, the objective there. But really, we're gonna leave like an 8-inch, 10-inch gap maybe between the wall, the new wall, and where we're gonna like trench or pull the soil back. And again, that's really just to leave the higher spot close to the house so that we can get it to run away. So we'll be back in a couple days. I gotta go take a cold shower. All right, so we're back here for the end of episode 5, part 5. We have a machine here. You can see I got a little impatient, but anyway, let's, we got a bucket and then we got a Harley rake over here. So the idea of the Harley rake is that it can float along the already surface here. We just put it down enough to take off like the top layer so that here we can get it nice and level and also away from the house. So you can see I left a little pile here. This is like my high water mark more or less. And then I just wanted to drag that down, an inch or two, and then drag that down like 3 or 4 inches, and not done, obviously not done. But let's flip you around here real quick and show you. Okay, even my wife goes, "Do you know what you're doing?" Come on. It's a machine, how hard could it be? I'm just kidding. I've done this quite a bit actually. So anyway, the idea here is we're going to get it to move away from this wall and away from here. And we talked a lot about this, but again, the idea here is we're just going to spread this dirt out so that it runs down that way. And this is, again, pretty flat already. But, you can kind of see the difference even just, 3 or 4 passes makes. And then over here, this was all beat up because of the Bobcat and stuff. You guys have been here. You know what's going on. But anyway, we got to drag this back. And then we're going to kind of fill that in and then run all this down. I think you can kind of see it. There's like a hump in there. There's like a little divot in here. But anyway, this part of the yard's always been the worst because there was a tree here. Yeah, tree here. So you can see I'm starting to get into some of these like roots and stuff over here. But then the lightning started, so she pulled me off the machine. But anyway, we're going to make this a little more gentle here, because you can kind of see what's going on now. And then we're going to make all this nice and smooth. And again, you can kind of, actually this is a much better view here. You see how it kind of like tapers down that way? We want to make that nice and smooth. So this takes a little while to do. Obviously we still got some bricks in here that, I don't know how the concrete guys didn't tear these up, because I thought the old driveway, anyway, regardless. But again, you can kind of see here, we're trying to leave a little bit of space so that, again, we can move it all this way. Some of this dirt will actually pull back towards the foundation so that, again, it's mostly coming this way. But anyway, just, 15, 20 minutes, I couldn't resist. And honestly, if you don't know about Northside, first of all, if you're in Atlanta and you don't know about Northside Tool Rental, if you rent this machine for a day with the Harley rake, with the bucket, whatever else, delivery, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know, $600 or $700. If you rent it on Friday, you can have it all weekend for the exact same price for the one-day rate. So, little hack there. We used to do a ton of landscape projects with these types of machines over the weekend because it would cut my costs way down. So anyway, just a little hack here. Only if you're in Atlanta though. I don't know There's like 5 or 6 locations or something. But anyway, this is not a plug, not sponsored, but it is a good deal, and I can't resist that. I will also say part 2 of this is going to be where we kind of get to the wall and then drag this part back, because again, you can kind of see, obviously we got a big mound here, but like even just that will fill this little area, because this little area is pretty low. But yeah, so we're going to continue to drag this back and fill in all this junk here, and then get that pretty much on the other side of this black pile here, nice and level there, and then keep pulling this back, and then we'll pull this back this way with the machine. Oopsie daisies, it's lightning, should probably get away from this tree. But there's also like a little hump here, so again, we're gonna pull it all away from the wall, and then we'll probably pull it on like a 45 degree off of this as well, because over here gets really low as well, and you can see we want to fill these spots in. I don't know if you can hear me over the lightning, but anyway, that's what we're planning for tomorrow. But if you haven't used one of these machines, there's tons of YouTube videos all over about these things. Super easy. Can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, but you know, overall pretty easy. So anyway, the next part of this will just be finishing up this. I'll set up like a little time lapse or something and show you, you know, back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. But anyway, it is getting there. It's very, very close. And I have this machine till Monday, so we should be able to finish off every little part of this. Because right now, it's just all over the place. But it will look great when it's nice and done. Because this thing has like a little float on it that it kind of floats over the top of the edge, so you aren't digging down multiple inches, especially over rough terrain already. You know, you want the Harley rake here to kind of just float over the top, because you have some higher spots and some lower spots and stuff, but if it's consistent and already running over the you know, the new terrain, if you will, then you aren't digging down and digging new holes, and the machine's doing this whole thing, and then you got, you know, waves like this everywhere. So anyway, it takes a little getting used to, but these little wheels on the front, you put it down, put it on float, and then away you go. So anyway, we got a little more work here to do though. We'll probably finish this up tomorrow. It is Father's Day weekend, but I do want to get this done, because this is like the end of it as far as I'm concerned. I wanted to have a little part in this project, and it's grown into a big part. Hey, so next day, massive fail, time lapse failed, but we are done. Can you see that? Hold on, let me flip you around again. Okay, here we go. All done, and I mean, not perfect, but close. I just got a couple more like clumps and stuff to break up, and a sprinkler head to replace, and another sprinkler head to replace, but overall done. And yeah, we're gonna put some pine straw down, some grass seed, some fertilizer probably would be a good idea. You can see my rain barrels doing their job. I don't know what the purpose of the rain barrels. I mean, obviously I want to water stuff around here, and we had a storm, you can see. We got to burn some stuff, but anyway, that is episode 5 here of the garage. I'm sorry, my phone overheated and the time lapse didn't capture. So anyway, if this is your first time to the channel, welcome back. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If this is your first time, welcome back. If this is your first time to the channel, thank you for coming. If this is not your first time, welcome back. There we go. Thank you so much for following along and watching this. And if you have any comments or questions or criticisms or anything else other than my phone overheating because the time lapse just burned it out. I probably should put it in the shade, but anyway, we're all done here. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you tap that bell for the notifications so you don't miss a single video of what remains here. But this is episode 5. We got like 45 more, give or take. Just kidding. In like 2 days, the framers will be here to put some supports in and main structure, and then they'll start framing around that, obviously, and then take down this wall here and so on and so forth. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Appreciate you all so much. And yeah, if there's anything I could do for you, just hit me down in the comments, or you can always reach out, schedule a Zoom, whatever you want to do. Would love to chat with you. So talk to you soon. Bye-bye.